the end of these 5 days, basically we could decide the base of the bike that Valentino and Maverick will start testing in Sepang in few days.
Bueno, le preguntaba a Dylan, a Merigali, todos estábamos muy pendientes de qué información habían sacado de los test que se hizo después de la temporada, tanto en Valencia y especialmente los test privados que hicieron en Sepang a finales de noviembre. Para ellos fueron muy importantes, como nos confirmaba Mayo, especialmente porque pudieron probar las mismas cosas en 2 circuitos con características muy diferentes, lo que les ha permitido sacar las conclusiones necesarias para ya tener una base con la que empezar a trabajar en 4 días ya en Sepang, tanto Valentino como Maverick.
Well, Mayo, this base, I mean, it's so important for you guys when you're starting the Sepang test. You'll have 3 days there. But then, of course, after that, there's another exciting new chapter because it's not just the new bike, but you're also going to be going to Thailand, a brand new track, at least for MotoGP. What is going to be the main focus there? Can you really focus on the bike, or is it more about just learning the track?
Okay, talking about Sepang, for sure we need to confirm what we saw, what we found in November. And then we will start developing the bike with the new parts that are coming from Japan. We will work on the electronics that we couldn't do in November, so I'm expecting an improvement in that area. Last year, as you know, we suffer a lot the wear of the tire, and this is our main goal to solve it. And about Buriram, yeah, it's a new track. But thank you to the information we receive from the Superbike, we will go there with an idea, and it will be fine.
Nuevo circuito esta temporada en Tailandia, el circuito de Buriram. ¿Servirá más, le decía Dylan, para pensar en la puesta a punto por ser un circuito nuevo o para también centrarse en seguir evolucionando la moto? Nos decía Merigali, para ellos será importante para volver a testar, en este caso, en un nuevo circuito y ver si funciona esa base a la que llegaron en Sepang, también para probar esas evoluciones en las que han estado trabajando durante el parón del invierno, esas nuevas piezas en Japón, especialmente también en la electrónica. Todavía ahí les quedan trabajo, no pudieron probar todo a finales de noviembre, para intentar luchar contra el que ha sido su talón de Aquiles en 2017, la degradación del neumático. Así que bueno, será positivo para ellos ir hasta Tailandia. También, bueno, para buscar esa puesta a punto, tienen algo de información, eso sí, ya nos ha dicho, a través del circuito del equipo de Superbikes, porque las Superbikes ya han competido ahí.
Mayo, sticking with testing just for a little bit longer, but probably more about in-season testing. The regulations have now changed a little bit. How is that going to affect you guys?
Anyway, now the manufacturer has to nominate 3 circuits where they can go testing during the season, but this it won't affect at all the development of the bike. Compare last year, the difference will be that they will have less possibility to prepare in advance the single race, but I don't see any difference, any problem.
Este año hay cambios en cuanto al reglamento conforme sobre los tests. Decía Dylan si eso va a afectar mucho o puede afectar a lo que es la evolución de las motos durante la temporada. Según Mayo, no tendrá mucho reflejo porque ahora cada equipo tiene que nominar 3 circuitos en los que pueden hacer test privados durante la temporada, y lo que cambia es que están un poquito, bueno, tienen menos margen para poder ir a otros circuitos a preparar concretamente la carrera que se disputaría en ese circuito, pero más allá de esto creo que no tendrá mucho reflejo en lo que son los términos de la evolución de la moto.
Muy bien.
No, Mayo, obviously Izaskun's challenge today is translating everything into Spanish. Does that amazingly. I always admire that. But now let's talk about the team's challenges. Okay, the team's challenges once you are in the season. I mean, this question might be a bit too early. You might have to wait. But what do you think might be the biggest challenges to face?
We are quite convinced that if we can make the bike more consistent for both our rider, we can challenge for sure for the title, and that is, as Tsuji-san said before, our main goal for this season.
En este caso, Massimo Meregali nos confirma, principal objetivo, como nos decía Suji-san, de Yamaha para esta temporada es el Campeonato del Mundo y, en concreto, especialmente en su labor, poder darles a sus pilotos una moto consistente con la que puedan pelear por ese Campeonato del Mundo.
Now, Mayo, obviously as team director, you need to also deal with the riders. You see them all the time at the track, but what happened in the winter period? Were you in touch with Valentino, with Maverick quite a lot? Did you ever have to tell them to, get a move on, a bit more training, please, or?
No, I kept in touch with them during the break, and recently I met them, and they are in a really good physical shape, mentally fresh. And that for me is really important because the season that we have in front is quite long. But, they never stop riding and training. So, as you will see later, they are, for me, ready to start the season.
Fantastic.
Bueno, pues nos ha contado que sí que ha estado en contacto, siempre lo está, con los pilotos también durante el parón de invierno. En este caso, les ha podido ver personalmente, les ve a los dos físicamente preparados y mentalmente frescos, importante porque es larga y intensa la temporada que les espera por delante. Dice que lo comprobaremos todos ahora enseguida, así que cree que están preparados para afrontar este 2018.
Right, well, Mayo, you're almost done, but as we know, you love interviews and questions. We're going to give you one more. You saw when Tsuji-san was up here, we were talking about the locked door just behind us. He gave us one number of the passcode. He gave us a number 4. Can you help us at all?
Yeah, you have to keep that number because I'm sorry, I don't have any number for you.
Nothing?
No.
Nothing?
You should ask for them to the rider.
To the riders. Okay, well, that sounds good.
Good. It's the same when you interview him at the box.
In pit lane, exactly. Yeah. Please ask the riders, and they're going past on the bike. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Mayo.
Mayo, thank you very much.
You.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Next
a big round of
year
applause for
in
Massimo
Spanish.
Meregali.
Okay.
Bueno, pues muchísimas gracias a Mayo Meregali. Aquí hemos tenido menos suerte, no tenía ningún número, pero sí que nos ha dicho quién puede tener esa respuesta. Y no son otros que los pilotos del Movistar Yamaha, Valentino Rossi y Maverick Viñales.
Absolutely, Izaskun. As Mayo said, the riders. Now, I don't know, Izaskun, whether this rider can actually open a locked door, but I do know he can ride. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the biggest names in MotoGP history, 9-time world champion Valentino Rossi.
Damos la bienvenida al 9 veces campeón del mundo, Valentino Rossi.
Ciao.
Ciao, Valentino.
Hi.
Ciao,
Hi,
how are you?
everybody.
Ciao, Ale.
Valentino, we'll have you right here, please. Well, Valentino, great to see you.
Grazie, thanks.
Mayo's already told us you're in very good shape, you're mentally fit, so that's great to hear. Now, let's start. 2018, now I have to double check these numbers because they're quite high. It's going to be your 17th year in MotoGP, your 19th in the Premier class, and your 23rd in the World Championship. I mean, quite some numbers. What has this experience given you? What have you learned from that in how you approach these pre-season tests?
It's difficult to explain, but it's more or less always the same when you restart in this period. For me, it depends very much how do you feel or your motivation if you still enjoy to ride the motorcycle. And like you said, with more experience and get used to try to fix all the problems that you have during the weekend for try to arrive Sunday for the race as fast as possible.
Bueno, voy a también a intentar traducir un poco al castellano lo que nos va diciendo Valentino, mientras le vamos a poder, porque si puedes ponerte un poquito por aquí para las fotos, y mientras le recordaba Dylan los números de Valentino, increíbles. Lleva 17 años en el MotoGP, 19 temporadas en la categoría reina y 23 años en el Mundial. Bueno, le decía que eso que ha aprendido de todo eso. Para él, en cualquier caso, dice, siempre sigue siendo cuando comienzas la misma sensación, el mismo espíritu, que depende de cómo te sientas y que quizás esa experiencia sí que te ayuda a tener más recursos para mejorar o para solucionar los problemas que se pueden ir apareciendo durante la temporada.
Okay.
Valentino, during the winter break, I mean, you looked extremely busy. I mean, first of all, congratulations because you won your 6th Monza Rally, so that was something, and then you came second with your brother at the 100 kilometers champions race as well. I mean, you've been so busy. Can you keep up this same training schedule, the same activity when you're actually in the season once it starts?
Yes, for sure. For me, it's very important continue to train, especially in the last years. We train at the gym, but we try also to spend the time on the motorcycle, trying to do some different things. And we have our track, so we train a lot with the flat track. We enjoy, and also during the season you have to continue, but try to do a little bit less, especially for the safety. Yep. Because last year I had a bad injury in the training, so trying to train as much as possible, but with a bit less.
Okay, so
a bit of margin. Yes.
Bueno, Valentino, en invierno, fiel también como siempre al Rally de Monza, sexta vez en el Rally de Monza, quedó segundo junto a su hermano, junto a Luca Marini, en la carrera de 100 kilómetros, en la Champions Race, y le decía a Dylan si iba a mantener ese mismo nivel de entrenamientos durante la temporada. Él dice, sí, seguiré entrenando especialmente en su pista, en su rancho, haciendo flat track, de lo que disfruta mucho. Hay que seguir, pero dice que en esta temporada quizá bajando un poquito la intensidad, sobre todo pensando en la seguridad y en que no se repita pues, la grave lesión que tuvo el año pasado entrenando durante la temporada.
Let's now talk about the test, Valentino. 3 very important tests coming up. We all know at the end of last season it was a little bit difficult. You really had to find your way. Do you already have a specific focus? Do you know what you want to focus on specifically during those tests?
I think that the tests are very important because you can understand more or less what's happened during the season. It's true that during the season, together with the team, you try to work a lot, try to improve the bike. But usually, for my experience, what's happened during the test, a lot of times is similar to the season. Okay. So it will be very important. We have to work hard, I think, because we're coming from last year's season that was not the maximum for me and for all the team. I think we can do better. Yep. And for do this, we have to work a lot, very much on them. One, concentrate on the bike. What I have to say, both electronic maybe, or all small details for try to be fast, and also for try to use the tires in a better way. That I think that last year was the key of the season.
Importantísimos para Valentino los test de pretemporada que van a empezar dentro de 4 días en Sepang, porque según su experiencia los test de pretemporada nos dicen por dónde van a ir las cosas durante el resto del año. Sí que es verdad que durante el año puede haber pequeñas evoluciones, pero él, por su experiencia, cree que ya dan bastantes claves. Y para ellos, en su caso, especialmente importantes, teniendo en cuenta que 2017, bueno, a nivel de Yamaha, incluso de sí mismo, dicen que no estuvieron al nivel máximo, que podrían haberlo hecho mejor. Por eso se van a concentrar especialmente en la moto. Vuelve a repetir también en la electrónica, pensando en encontrar la solución para su problema del año pasado, que fue la gestión de los neumáticos.
Valentino, I'd like to go back to something you spoke about. Of course, you did have this injury last year when you were training, but well, it was sad for you. You did have to miss Misano, but you came back extremely quickly. I mean, how did that happen? Was that because you just had so much support from the fans? You said, I've got to try it for them, or did you want no one else on your M1?
A little bit altogether. Okay. Yes. Depends very much from your feeling. After the injury in September, apart that the injury arrived in a bad moment of the season, because I was in a good way, in a good shape, did some good result, and waiting for Misano race. That is the most important race of the season, because it's the home race. Yep. And we did the test 1 week before, and we were strong, so was bad. But I never feel too much pain this time. I remember last time in 2010 when I had the same injury. I want to stay relaxed because I suffer a lot. This time I suffer less. So when you do this job, you want the most important things is try to come back on the bike as soon as possible. And I think that was a good recovery, yes.
It certainly was. It certainly was.
Le recordaba a Dylan, a Valentino, su extraordinaria y rápida recuperación después de esa fractura, de esa lesión que sufrió antes de la carrera de Misano. Si fue por el empuje de los fans o era que no quería que nadie se subiera en su M1. Dice que una mezcla de las dos cosas. Llegó en el peor momento posible de la temporada porque él se encontraba en un buen nivel y además justo antes de la carrera, de su carrera más especial del año, su carrera de casa. Había hecho un test además una semana antes y había confirmado eso, que estaba en buena forma. Dice que de todas formas esta lesión le dolía, tenía mucho menos dolor que cuando le ocurrió anteriormente, en este caso en 2010, así que para él la recuperación fue diferente y pudo volver espectacularmente después de tan solo 21 días de fracturarse la pierna.
Well, let's of course hope that doesn't happen again this year, Valentina, because the schedule is even busier. We do have this extra race now. We spoke with Mayo about this. You're going to have to go to Thailand, prepare for this. Do you think this is going to be an advantage because it will be more chances for you to maybe gain extra points, or is it actually going to be a little bit tough?
I think that is impossible to say before try the track. Because I was in Thailand with Yamaha two or 3 years ago, and I did also some lap in the racetrack. But you never know, because especially during the last season, sometimes you arrive in a track, and from Friday morning you are strong, the bike is good, the tires are good. Some other times you arrive and you feel a lot more problem and less confidence, you know. So we have to say. We have to see. We have to see. We have a test in February, so we check if Buriram is a good track for them one.
Buriram, ¿tener un circuito más es una ventaja o es un reto? Dice que, bueno, que esto hasta que no vas no lo sabes. En su caso sí que pudo estar con Yamaha hace 2-3 años y pudo incluso dar algunas vueltas en el trazado, pero dice que eso, que nunca se sabe, que quizá llegas y el viernes ya por la mañana tienes buenas sensaciones y consigues ir rápido y otras veces no. Por eso importante el test que habrá en febrero en ese nuevo circuito, esta temporada en el circuito de Buriram en Tailandia.
Perfect. Well, Valentino, now you are going to have to help us, please. Okay. Now we asked Tsuji-san about the code for the door behind us. We asked Mayo. Only Tsuji-san could give us a number. That was the number 4. Mayo said maybe you know one of the numbers. Can you help us at all?
My number is 6. Because this will be the 6th season in a row from when I come back in Yamaha, so I want to say 6, number 6.
Number
Bueno,
6.
pues vamos
Okay.
a colocar
Let's give it a
ese
try.
segundo número del código, que no es otro que el número 6, porque es la 6ª temporada consecutiva de Valentino en Yamaha desde que volvió en 2013. Ya de todas formas, el 4, el 6, este te va sonando, ¿no? Es familiar. Este
I think
número.
familiar.
Está bien.
We can see a trend, exactly. Now, Valentino, very shortly we're going to ask you to put your leathers on because then you are going to, of course, reveal your new bike to the world. But beforehand, could you just do a little walk up the catwalk, please, so that our photographers and everyone in the stands can just take a...
Come una sfilata di moda.
Yeah, la Fashion Week.
Like a model.
Yes,
You
perfect.
don't have to walk exactly the same.
Bueno, pues ahí luego habrá más fotos, ¿eh? Tendréis tiempo, pero ahí tenemos la primera foto de Valentino con ese nuevo uniforme.